And to all them black people who went crazy for Palestine, I haven't seen a Palestinian American march yet for Carmelo Anthony. I haven't seen a Palestinian American march yet for Cyrus Carmack Belton. Where are all these groups? Where's the migrant protest on behalf of Carmelo Anthony? Where's the migrant protest on behalf of Cyrus Carmack Belton? We fight for everybody else. They never fight for us. And that's why I'm saying here and now, multiculturalism is dead with me. It been dead with me. I never supported it, and I only fight for black people. I will never mistreat nobody else. I will never mistreat nobody from another race. But guess what? When I fight for me alone. Black first.
You cannot understand Asian American history without understanding black history. And the sooner you understand why, the sooner you'll stop being a fucking tool. So there's actually a name for this. It's called racial triangulation. And this starts with the stereotypes that white supremacy assigns. Black Americans get hit with racism and Asian Americans get hit with xenophobia. Want more Asian people to understand that model minority is not a fucking compliment. When people talk about model minorities, it's usually from a place of like, oh, why can't you just like shut up and be like these nice, obedient Asian people? This model minority stuff is a way to like pit Asian people and black people against each other. It's often used in a way to gaslight into thinking that racism doesn't exist. It's fucking bullshit. Because the second it becomes useful to scapegoat you, it's gonna happen. Case in point, remember the China virus a couple of years ago? Now with this Rick Chow case, this is being framed as some kind of like Asian versus black issue. The harm is real. The anti-blackness in Asian communities is real. I am not excusing it, but I think we also need to ask who's benefiting from this dynamic? Who is benefiting when our communities are beefing with each other? The more I dig into this, the more I'm starting to see that it's not random, it's systemic. And I'm gonna speak directly to my fellow Asian Americans. If you believe that, oh, maybe if I just obey the status quo and be a good boy, I'll be accepted. No, stop being a fucking tool. Conditional acceptance is not acceptance. It's control.
Asians and Hispanics be on white people dick too much for me. Because I've seen Asian people come out in protest of black people getting reparations. Has nothing to do with them. I've seen Hispanic people come out in protest of black people getting reparations, and it has nothing to do with you. Now, I've also seen the latter, or the whatever. I've also seen on the opposite end of the scale, some people of color in agreement that black people in America should receive reparations, right? Dr. Claude Anderson, formulated the FBA to establish a group here in America of people that descended from slavery for the purpose of receiving reparations. And that's spiraled into whatever it spiraled to because, you know, the CIA. And everyone seems to fear a black economic stronghold or black economic power because everyone knows we don't really need them. So they tirelessly try to keep us dependent on them, and they do this systemically. And they do this through a brainwashing of sorts. So by always giving other minorities or people of color somebody to look down on, well, if black people get repair for what's been done to us. And I would make an argument that at this point, not only reparations for slavery, but reparations for Jim Crow and reparations for the crack epidemic. Everybody seems to have an issue with the black economic independence. And I'll say this because they understand the game. They understand that if black people start ascending economically, well, we won't be at the bottom of the totem pole, and one of y'all niggas will. That's the only way this thing works. That's the only way this system works. It has to have somebody at the bottom. It has to have somebody to punch down on. You niggas come over here and y'all get real fluent in the punch down game. And for whatever reason, we always seem to be the victims and we ain't did shit to none of y'all. White people oppress you as well, No, white people oppress themselves, yet all the fallout seems to come on black people.
For any Asian people who are selfish as fuck and are not standing in solidarity to Hispanic people over ICE immigration, just remember you're next and you are not that different from them. You know, all your excuses of it doesn't have anything to do with me, I mean, I'm legal and stuff, they don't care. You're gonna be targeted because keep in mind, you're not white. The system never will see you as white. They see you also as an immigrant. Guess what? After Hispanic people get deported, who's also gonna be deported? Asian people. You're not safe from it. You're not white. They're not gonna target white immigrants, and they can't target really black people because for a lot of reasons, honestly. So they're gonna target you. You're not safe because you perpetuate racism towards other groups all the time. No, you are just as likely to be a target as any Hispanic person, honestly. Like, I fear you should care.
And hey, for all the Asians who are now all of a sudden afraid of Black Americans and the blacks, right? Y'all don't have nothing to worry about, all right? Especially if you live in Los Angeles. We're not even in the same proximity of each other, okay? I see Asians in fucking passing and that's it, on the freeway. That's where I see y'all, other than the ones that I work with. A Japanese man and a Chinese lady, and they have no clue about none of this shit. I'm talking about the internet Asians. Those are the real ones. They barely speak fucking English, okay? And we get along just fine. But that's individually, okay? I keep seeing videos of you people talking about our community. Your community has absolutely nothing to worry about, right? Just like before. Stop Asian hate. Oh my God. How y'all were using like one-off black special ed people who were like doing heinous shit to make it seem like all black people were attacking Asians. You have nothing to worry about, all right? Like, we need to stop with that kind of shit, all right? Y'all know your neighbor, y'all not even by us. Unless you got a liquor store or something in our neighborhood. You see that? We don't got no stores in y'all neighborhoods, but y'all sure do come over here and take that black dollar, don't you? Right, so you have nothing to be afraid of. All right, so all the videos that is going around, like, fucking stop it, okay? We're not even by each other.
The biggest issue facing blacks, Asians, Latinos, and Haitian communities in America. Welcome back to the Freedom Room, where we explore the stories, struggles, and changes shaping America today. The United States is one of the most diverse countries in the world, but behind its image of opportunity are complex challenges affecting different communities. In this video, we will examine some of the biggest issues facing Black Americans, Asian Americans, Latino Americans, and Haitian Americans, from economic inequality and immigration debate to education, representation, discrimination, and the search for a better future. These communities have different histories and experiences, but many are asking similar questions about opportunity, fairness, and their place in the American society. Stay with us. We'll look deeper into the challenges shaping these communities and the conversations taking place across media, across the nation concerning these races. Thank you. Stay tuned and watch to the end. Don't forget to subscribe. This is the Freedom Room. Let's watch more commentary. Let's watch more opinions, and I'll be back with more commentary. Thank you very much. Stay tuned.
It's been projected that by 2030, Hispanic people are going to become the majority in America. White people found out that Hispanic people are going to become the majority in America, so now they're aggressively deporting people. Now they're trying to end birthright citizenship. It's not a coincidence. They're playing the race game with you. But they're going to sit there and act like, we're not playing no race game. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. And I'm not even mad at white people for playing the race game. Because like I said, racism is self-preservation, bro. But the thing I hate about it is, don't lie to me. Don't sit there and kiki with me and act like everything's cool. And you really trying to get me gone.
Who do you think is the number one illegal immigrant in America?
The number one is in the most vilified or the most sought after?
I guess you could go vilified or based off of, you know what I'm saying? I'm asking number wise, but who would you think in your mind, right, would be considered the number one illegal immigrants right now?
Well, pretty much South Americans.
That's what you would think, right? Yeah. Do you know it's actually Asians?
Wait, in what sense though do you mean?
In numbers, in the amount, in the percentage. And the reason why you don't know that is because the media isn't running into Chinese restaurants or even the Asians that are East Indian. They're not running into the Dunkin' Donuts. They're not running into the gas stations and putting them in cages. But they are to the South Americans and Mexicans. This is who's being targeted. So what I'm saying is that they are doing this to a specific group of people while the other people are not being targeted.
The main reason for the social construct of race was then to divide us by class. See, when this American empire is finished and historians write the book, they won't be surprised by the greed of the rich, but they will be stunned by the blind loyalty of the poor, right? By this idea of self-sabotage, of being willing to just throw all of our rights away in hopes that we may get a few more crumbs than our own neighbor. I just hope we realize this before it's too late.
The tension between the Black and Latino community needs to stop. And we need to be the generation to stop it. Anti-Blackness exists in our community. We know this. Anti-Blackness also exists within the Black community itself. All communities of color struggle with this. And the reason why is what we all have in common. We were all colonized and trained to have a mindset of you versus me for survival. But that ends with us. We need to lead with unity and not division. We have to be the change we want to see. We have to stop pointing the finger in both communities and make the decision that we are going to choose to be united versus divided. I'm not going to pretend like I have all the answers, but here are examples of how you can show up differently and be the change you want to see. Number one, share stories of solidarity. Share stories of love. Share stories of when you have experienced the Black or Latino community showing up in your spaces. We need to shift the narrative. Number two, if your reality is division between the Black and Latino community and your goal is unity, then it is up to you to seek out examples of when the Latino and Black communities show up for one another, where they show love, where there is actual solidarity, because guess what? It exists. And if you need a place to start with me. I am happy to be a part of your network of Latinos who have nothing but love for our Black sisters and brothers. Number three, ask your neighbors how you can be helpful. You need to lead with your heart in this moment. That is the only way that we are going to experience an actual shift. We have to show up as human beings. We have to show up vulnerable. We have to show up as the change that we want to see. Lastly, ask others to join you. Let's actually start in the comments. Share your stories of solidarity and love. If members of the Latino and Black community have a hard time seeing it, let's show them how it's actually done. I stand with my Black brothers and sisters, and I also stand with my Latino familia. But the change, it starts with us. I love you.
For Black Americans, the major concerns continue to include economic inequality, wealth gap, education, healthcare access, public safety, and criminal justice. Many are also focused on building economic power through entrepreneurship and supporting Black-owned businesses. Haitian Americans, despite being viewed by some through the modern minority stereotypes, face their own challenges, including discrimination, hate crimes, immigration barriers, language difficulties, and the lack of representation for many diverse Asian communities. Latino Americans are facing major debates surrounding immigration, citizenship, wages, housing affordability, education, and political influence as their population continue to grow. Haitian Americans are dealing with challenges connected to immigration policies as well, especially ICE, economic struggles, cultural identity, and negative stereotypes, while also making important contributions in healthcare, education, businesses, and public service. Although these groups have different struggles, they share a common concern about creating opportunities, protecting families, and building stronger communities. I will be back with more commentary. Stay tuned to the Freedom Room. What should they end?
Black people, after they done with the Latinos, you next. Huh? Next. We've been on the chopping block. Like, you can tell that we all been living in separate Americas. Separate Americas, because why does everybody keep saying black people, you next? They've been on our heels for 400 plus years. Black people, you next. You know what? Can you imagine being in a relationship with the biggest narcissist in history? The biggest, right? Every time you go to school, he undermines you. When you buy a house, he undermines you. When you get healthcare, he undermines you. God damn, when you can't go to the gym, you can't go to parks, you can't go to the goddamn beach, you can't get healthcare, you can't get childcare, you can't do shit. You can't cook chicken, you can't eat fruit, you can't do nothing. Every angle that you live in life has been targeted. Understand that black people will always fight for Latinos. Our struggle is intertwined. Like, understand this. But we don't gotta worry about being next, because we have been their fixation for hundreds of years. We still are. And you know what's the most heartbreaking thing about this whole thing is that Mexican people in black history, American history, have been some of the only people to show up. They were the biggest part of black liberation. And always and forever, I will always give Mexican people that respect. But since then, Latino people have been falling so far into white supremacy that is sick. You have been showing colorist behavior to your own people. You have been showing colorist behavior all in the hopes of having white proximity. All the anti-black jokes that you hear growing up, you're talking about your own people. Just because you say prieto, moreno, or negro, don't make it no different. All those sayings, bettering the race, cleaning the blood, washing out the black. This is a part of Latin culture, and it's sad, and it needs to stop. You want to know what's the first step of liberation? Stop that shit. Stop trying to have proximity to whiteness. You're not them. And if you want to know the results of this, just ask the question of what happened to all the black people in Argentina. There were a lot more. And yeah, you may have a sprinkle of Spaniard, but you ain't that. And I'm sorry to tell you, there's a reason why you have an indigenous or African nose and kinky hair.
I always tell people the day the Latino, African American, Asian, and other communities realize that they share the same oppressor is the day we start winning. Because we are the majority in this country now. We have the ability to take over this country and to do what is needed for everyone and to make things fair. But the problem is our communities are divided. They're completely divided.
You know, these people, they cause more idiotic division than anything else. I'm black. I live in America. I am not oppressed. There's nothing a white person can do in this country that I cannot do. I wake up when I want. I go eat when I want. I go where I want. I build what I want. I do what I want. I don't have white people holding me back. There are no laws that are holding me back that aren't holding white people back. This is the land of opportunity. And if you're competent and you develop good skills, you can be successful. What these Democrat politicians like to do is they like to pit everybody up against straight white people. I don't understand, if you're white and have common sense, I don't understand how you would vote for the Democratic Party. If I was white, I would not sit here and let a party demonize my entire race of people and act like they're oppressing everyone. When a bunch of these minorities left other countries to purposely come here because they wanted the opportunities here. Now, I'm not talking about black people, but a lot of the other minorities that are here came here for those reasons. And there are multiple groups of minorities who make more than white people on average. A lot of these Democratic politicians just lie to people and try to convince them that they're oppressed. What he basically did is just divide everyone. Like, if you're not white and if you're not straight, you're on this side, and if you're white and straight, you're on that side. And we need to take power from that side of those people who are white and straight. Bro, come on. If you pay attention, it's very clear that people care about belief systems and ideology. I have a lot of white followers, millions of white followers. If white people were that against me, would I have this big of a following? No. Most of these people aren't worried about my skin color. They follow me because they like the things I say, they like my belief systems, they like the way I articulate things. If they were all against people who were minorities, I wouldn't have this following. But they don't care as much about that. And people like him and many other, especially black people, a lot of us operate on outdated mindsets. They're still looking at everything and dividing everything up by race. No, it's about belief systems, values, and competence. Race is an afterthought. But if you actually believe that, it takes away a powerful manipulation tool for them. Because Democrats like to get minorities to believe, oh, all those white people are against you and all those white people are Republicans. So you need to come vote for us over here. So we can tax you more and put a bunch of nonsensical policies in place that are going to make your quality of life go down. And while we do that, we're going to blame the Republicans because it's those evil, racist white people. It's stupid. This guy ought to be ashamed of himself. But this is what Democrats do. They like to divide people up by race and try to use that emotion to garner votes and support. But anyway, that's all I got for now. Don't forget I have a free
Mexican Americans have had long-standing solidarity with Black Americans, and this isn't your fault that you don't know that. This is intentional gaps in your education, because they'll teach you about Martin Luther King's nonviolence, but they won't teach you about his war on poverty. They won't tell you that Black and brown communities were walking hand in hand during the Civil Rights Movement. They don't want you to see Kwame Ture posted up with Corky Gonzalez, one of the leaders of the Chicano Power Movement. They assassinated Martin Luther King because he was bridging communities, and then they whitewashed his history. And now they're also trying to get you to think of Latinos as a monolith. The Cubans who enslaved other Cubans and the Cubans who were enslaved are not the same demographic of people. Some of the people who come over here are the oppressors in their country. And some of the people who come over here are the oppressed. And you need to see the difference. They want us to fight because it works for them. They want us to fight because it works for them.
White people, watch this video and I'll be right back.
He published a book called Race, Tendencies, and Traits of the American Negro, in which he lays out all the numbers, and then he concludes that if we simply avoided allowing Black people to have any access to health care, that within 2 or 3 generations, the whole race would die out, and that would solve the race problem in America. When Teddy Roosevelt, 1912, proposed a national health care system, people said no because Black people will get it. When Franklin Roosevelt proposed a national health care system, it was the same thing. We don't want Black people to get it. When Truman tried it in 47, same thing. Don't want Black people to get it. We have to figure out a way to keep Black people from using Medicare. And the way that they came up with was to have a 20% hole, a gap in Medicare, so that you had to pay 20% of your doctor's bill and your hospital bill, and that would discourage poor Black people from showing up at the hospitals. Nearly 100% of the reason why the United States is the only country in the world that doesn't define healthcare as a right is because of racism. He published a book called Race, Tendencies, and Traits of the American Negro.
How many times do I have to say this? Racism is a detriment to you white folks, poor white folks especially. Because of racism, you poor white folks can't even get good health care. Because they thought if they could deny health care to Black people that we would have been eradicated a long time ago. But hey, we still here. And they have not changed the rules. How crazy is that? Even with Social Security, you have to pay 20% because of racism. We keep telling you. BIPOC keep telling you. Black people keep telling you, it is not us that makes your life suck. It is those racist politicians and their racist legislation that they think that's going to harm us, but harms you at the same time. And they don't care if it harms you. They don't give a shit. And then you continue to vote against your own interest. All because a bunch of rich white people told y'all to hate Black people because Black people are doing stuff to you as a whole. And we're not. Because we don't control shit. We don't control the healthcare system. We don't control Social Security. We don't control your wages. We don't control shit. But they continue to tell you that it's us. So you turn your focus on us and harass the shit out of us for no fucking reason. When we have no power to affect your life as a whole community. Pay attention.
The challenges facing Blacks, Asian, Latino, and Haitian communities reveal a larger conversation about the future of America. While some disagreements and tension sometimes receive the most attention, There are also many examples of corporations, shared goals, and communities working together to create change. Understanding these issues require looking beyond stereotypes and recognizing the different experiences within each group. At the Freedom Room, our goal is to encourage to inform conversations about the history, challenges, and achievements shaping America today. What do you believe is the biggest issue affecting these communities? And what solution do you think can create a stronger future? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. This is the Freedom Room. Don't forget to like, to subscribe, and to press the notification bell so you won't miss out on our videos. Thank you.